This is your Daily 5 for Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. As I think I mentioned in the Black Dynamite review, we are for the month of February to celebrate Black History Month. We are doing our normal commentary series, 3 movies per week. We're sticking to that, but it will all be films that are in celebration of Black History Month. And the final film for this week is 1973's Black Caesar. Now, starring Fred Williamson, directed by Larry Cohen. 2 very well-known names in genre filmmaking. I didn't know anything about this movie going into it, neither did Lando, but I had seen it come up over and over again in lists of, and interestingly, in 2 types of lists. One, great examples of blaxploitation filmmaking, and just in terms of great representations of the Black experience in film, without the blaxploitation label. And a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, there are for some people a dividing line between Black cinema and blaxploitation, where much like B movies in general, blaxploitation has been seen by some as a lesser form of filmmaking that is sensationalist and actually does not contribute to great Black films. Many other people disagree. I would put myself in that camp. Like any type of filmmaking, any type of storytelling, acting, all of it. A good story is a good story. If it's engaging and it gets you into it, who cares what the actual type of film is? The genre really doesn't even matter. And so I do not put any division between those 2 things. But again, Black Caesar would show up on both lists. And that's interesting because not a lot of films have that kind of crossover. There are some, but not a ton. And so I went into it, as did Lando, with no knowledge of what it was. And at the end of it, I think we both agreed that this is a stellar, excellently made film that we would recommend to almost no one who is not in the proper frame of mind to engage with some really ugly material. When I say ugly material, I'm talking about racism and what the effect of not having the proper caring as a child can do to somebody. This movie is filled with really memorable characters, and only one at the end of the movie can I say that I looked at and said, you did nothing wrong this whole movie. You are truly the victim. Everyone else is either outright hateful or so compromises their own moral integrity in their decision-making that you cannot look at them as good people in the end, at various degrees, which is exactly what the human experience is. That is not a criticism. That is, in fact, a point of praise in how well this movie functions. And the other thing you have to know if you go into this is you are going to see some truly just blatant, hateful speech and actions. It does not pull any punches, which again is very uncomfortable, unless you are a hateful person yourself, to see in the modern day, but it is necessary. It is something that is necessary to know that this is what a lot of people went through and still go through, but at this point, a lot of people were going through it. And that's what I mean about if you can engage with this material, it should be seen. But I would not just say to anybody, "Oh yeah, just watch this. This is a quick watch, and you won't worry." This will stick with you. It will and should haunt you because, by and large, many of the things that happen in this movie, it is entirely possible to believe that a version of this story, and probably many versions of this story, actually played out until you get to certain things that are clearly for the movies. There are certain things where it would not result, particularly in the last about 15, 20 minutes, where you're sitting there going, okay, now we're getting into movie territory. But a lot of the things that led up to it, variations on that, are very believable. Also, I should mention, Fred Williamson is excellent in this. This is probably one of the best things I've seen him in. And I heard that name many times when I was younger, knew the face, didn't really see a lot of the material. And the more I've seen of him, the more I understand why I so often heard that name come up when people were talking about great actors. Why I knew the face. Because of stuff like this. It is just a wonderful performance in a really tough film in many ways. And again, if you can engage with this material, absolutely worth seeing. But just be aware that you do not walk into 1973's Black Caesar with ease and walk out without it sticking with you. But that's not a bad thing. It's just something you have to be aware of. Later.